welcome to Monster Mayhem. That's right, Monster Mayhem. We've got some fabulous people on the show with us tonight. So first I want to say thank you to our fabulous sponsors. Get that all out of the way. Thank you, Hero Forge, for being such a fabulous and amazing group and supporter of the channel. We love Hero Forge because you can make all kinds of amazing things with them. If you're someone like me who's not great with visual arts, this allows for fabulous character creation without having to spend an arm and a leg. And it is absolutely glorious. So definitely head over there and check them out because they are fabulous. And I'd like to say thank you to Idol Champions of the Forgotten Realms. If you look down to your screen, you will see a code there that is 12 letters long. You can plug that code into Idol Champions of the Forgotten Realms, a fabulous mobile game, and get a free Electrum chest. The code will last for weeks, so even if you see this on one of our VODs, you can still pop it in and get your free items that will help you level up your fabulous Idol Champions of the Forgotten Realms. And finally, I would like to say, hi, Ampersand, aka Pow.
Hello, thank you.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm all good. Been a busy week. This is day 4 of D&D content every evening. I get a small break tomorrow, and then I've got 2 more evenings of D&D. So yeah, loving it. Absolutely.
I love it. There's definitely worse ways to spend your time.
Definitely.
And we have a fabulous guest this week, DM Charlie. Yay!
Hello, hi. How are you? Oh wait, we made a deal. Hello, Kyle. I am pleased to be here with you today. No, I don't think I'll do the whole thing in transatlantic. That would be really obnoxious.
I love it. That's like,
I can try.
We'll start in just a moment, but first, news from the front.
Exactly. News from our sponsor, Hero Forge. Are you trying to make amazing miniatures? Hero Forge is the way to do it.
That's right. You have to put in your mug at some point. Like, don't be a dummy. Like, head over to Hero Forge right now.
That will pop back up when you least expect it now.
Thank God. Thank God. It is. Well, DM Charlie, where can we find you in all your glory?
Oh my goodness. Hi world. I am DM Charlie. I am the eponymous face of DM Charlie Gaming. We are a community of inclusive and passionate adult TTRPG players based around a core cadre of professional, vetted, amazing DMs. We are consistently committed to providing you with exceptional and memorable role-playing experiences. I gave you my whole elevator thing. You can find me on our Discord, which is simply DMC Gaming on Discord, dmcharliegaming.com. I am also on Phoenix Iwaki every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Pacific, playing Willy Grimm, a human fae warlock. And I don't know, he is just kind of the butt of the campaign. But
I love it. I love it. That makes me very happy.
Sorry, I just started to go off on a stream of consciousness ramble. Where can we find you? And then when I was 7, I didn't really care for camp, but I made some good friends.
That's right, you did. And they're lifelong friends until they all left.
Exactly.
Well, I'd like to say thank you so much to Devor Knight for your 5-month subscription. Yay! Hi, Josh. And hey there, Bleak Season. Welcome. Today we are going to be doing all kinds of fun things, including creating actual classes that you can play from monsters. So that the reason we started this is because one of the big issues that you will find in a lot of campaigns is that if people try to use monsters, the monsters either will be overpowered or eventually they just can't keep up. And what we wanted to do is create a situation where you could start at level 1 if you wanted to with the monster class, and you could level up each level with your party, generating new abilities and getting that same sort of awesome feeling when you actually like finish something and you level up and you get to do the new fun things. without it becoming an issue of never having enough power, right? And eventually being able to multi-class from your monster class into an actual D&D class. So that way you can in fact create, today we're doing beholders, so you could absolutely create a fun little like beholder rogue that would be absolutely glorious. I certainly would love it. So,
Hey, Bobo, pick that lock. Duh. Bobo don't have hands.
I mean, I would love like a beholder who, instead of like telekinesis, you know, making it a big bubble, is they have access, their telekinesis can transform into like a new tool every level. You know, they just have that whole array just suddenly in front of them. That would be delightful. Make me very happy. So yeah, so first off, I want to hear, as before we begin, what do you think a beholder class should look like? Josh, what is that? What is that for you? Like, what do you think the most important part of leveling up as a beholder would be? Paul, I'm sorry, I just called you Josh.
I was wondering. I'm like,
I'm such an asshole. I'm sorry. No, Josh is in the
like,
chat.
who the hell is Josh?
I know. Paul and I were both like, well, my name isn't Josh.
Yeah.
Stay
Yeah.
silent.
I had to check on
Josh,
Zoom, like, have I typed it wrong? What happened there?
Sometimes you have just a breakdown on screen. Sometimes it just happens. It's fine. Like this. Yes, so not Josh. What do you think?
Who are you talking to, me or Charlie?
I'd like you both to start talking at the same time.
Charlie, I'll let you go first.
Okay, so what I want to
No,
do,
Paul.
blather.
No, Paul, what do you think?
Oh, me first. Okay. I think the most important part of leveling up a beholder is increasing the amount of eye stalks it has, so that you can physically represent its leveling up. Like I know in the last Monster Mayhem, we increased, I think it was a displacer piece, we increased its size.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a really interesting concept. So yeah, with the holder, I think the more eye stalks. I also think it's interesting how we're gonna do the subclasses. So I know we've got a couple of subclasses in mind for beholder. Death Kiss,
Yeah.
I've used that recently. Really excited for that. But visually, it's very different to a beholder. So I'm excited to see how we work that out. But yeah, the eye stalks for me.
Yeah, I think I think that's a really good point. I think that what we should do with the eye stocks is actually create a situation where we've got, like, we do the basic stuff that a beholder can do throughout it, and then use the subclasses to really differentiate which beholders you're going to go for, right? And then model those subclasses after what we are, in fact, going after. Like, what would be a cool, like, is this going to be more of like a wizardy beholder, or is this going to be more of like a roguey beholder, or you know, a warlocky beholder, like all that kind of stuff. And then we can cater the subclasses to what that would actually be in like a 5e subclass. So what about you, Team Charlie? What do you think it's going to be all about?
Paul took my idea. I'm just gonna sit here in embarrassed silence now.
Oh no, Paul,
so-
you're a beast.
Horrible.
Shame,
This
Paul.
experience isn't fun anymore, Kyle.
I'm sorry.
No, okay, so the Beholder is a CR13 creature of large size. It has 10 eye stalks, so I completely agree with you, Paul, that the eye stalks need to be a process of that leveling up. So if we take 13 as is baseline, 10 eye stalks, large, legendary action, then I think we should go backwards. So it starts out small, maybe one minor little eye nub, and then as it levels, it like boop boop, you know, little tiny reduced eye nubs that can grow, and then it will also increase in size. So by the time we hit level 13, we've got Beholder. You know, I think I'm doing on this right. And then also, as is, I mean, the Beholder is, let's face it, a big damage ball. It is just a doom ball.
Yeah.
Maybe giving some options on those eye stocks that they don't have to be. It doesn't have to be a paralyzing ray. Maybe it's an anesthetizing ray, and
so
it hits
this
you, and
is-
it's like for healing, things like that.
So I already have a beholder that we created in our world called the Florid, which is a beholder made of flowers. And it kills things by healing them to death, by just pumping them full of actual positive play, like positive plane energy.
Did you have that on stream? That sounds really familiar.
Oh yeah. No, the Florid pops up all the time
I know.
because she's one of my favorite creations.
I think killing things with love is a Kyle trademark technique.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There is, I mean, one of the things when you work in the service industry as long as I have, one of the things that you learn like day one is every manager will tell you, don't get angry, kill them with kindness. Just
exactly.
kill them with kindness. Yes.
And don't let the smile touch your eyes. Yeah, that's the other one.
Big smile, dead eyes, make your money.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's going to be super delightful. I agree, and I think that there should be. I think like to get to 13, like we might take it to like I think maybe level 14 or 15, because what I'm thinking is that what we can do is we can start with, like you said, like a mouth and a little eye stalk, so that you can still defend yourself, right? And that's just gonna like boop. And then as you develop more eye stalks, great. And I think like somewhere in there, like every couple of levels, we add like a legendary action there, right? So it might be like 4 eye stalks and a legendary action, then like same time as sort of like you level up your sides, like you get another legendary action. And then as you keep moving that forward, then you actually generate like eventually the big eye in the middle that does the anti-magic ray and all that. But
that's gonna be a thing. Like one day the beholder just wakes up and the big center eye is angry. That's like it's all one of those happy, like anime, like happy cats, like blinking and Bambi, and then one day it's just all ah.
Well, what I'm thinking for this center, now that we're talking about it, what I'm thinking for the central eye is that like you start with the big central eye, but it doesn't actually do anything, right? It's just something for you to see your environment with. And then as you level up, it gains better and better abilities until it's actually an anti-magic ray. So it could be, like it has the ability to, eventually like maybe inflict like, disadvantage on a spell attack made against it.
The eye progresses.
Yeah.
Like yeah.
And I think that for basics, so for the basics that we need for a beholder, we need 10 eye stalks, we need the central eye, we need it to be large, and we need legendary actions.
Yeah. That's a beholder. And they have they also have lair. They also have some lair actions, but I've never used lair actions personally.
I think that that's specific to. I think lair actions are going to be specific to where you stick it.
Yeah, there's no point.
I'm gonna leave that to. I think I'm gonna leave that to. I mean, or maybe that could be something that we add, like level 16 or something. Is you can, if you spend an hour doing a ritual, you can make it space your layer. No.
Not a ritual. It's just at 16th level, gains defeat, no personal boundaries, and just like one of those people who just moves in and takes over. Like, hey, that's my table. Oh, okay, just put your. Oh, that's where you're gonna leave your coat. Okay, I see. Oh, you're just gonna rest that bag full of shit.
I love it. Oh my gosh.
An aura, awesome. Lando saying it could be an aura of some kind. Yeah, it could. When we get there, we can cross that bridge. But absolutely, at a high enough level, a PC beholder deserves the ability to convert some sort of space into having those lair actions. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it could be that is something that you have to work towards. Like, it could be that like that's only for like clericy classes, where like you have to turn something into sort of like because beholders are just eternally narcissistic, and so you can absolutely be able to turn a space into a temple to you. You know,
it's just hiring all the artists in the lands to just keep doing portraits of you. You know.
Absolutely. Oh my God, I love it. There's Bleak season, don't sweat tonight's stream. You're gonna do great.
If you're not having fun, Bleak season, don't do it. That's the lesson I learned while I stream. Just you're not enjoying it, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, it is really something that like when I started, there was just this drive to be on like every single stream and make sure that I was doing all of the things all the time. And one of the things that I've come to terms with is just the fact that, like, you know, this is a marathon, not a sprint. No one's getting famous overnight. Like, except for Paul. Paul will.
Yeah, I get famous overnight.
Nobody else.
I don't know which night, but any night soon, I'm counting on it. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Lando's saying again, can we make an annoyingly humble beholder?
Oh my God. You totally could, where it's like the central eye isn't an anti-magic cone, it's like an anti-light cone so that nobody can see you. You just don't look at me. No. Leave me alone.
Oh, no.
Absolutely. I think that'll be super fabulous. Oh my God. I think that would just make me the happiest person. Just crazy different beholders that we can create for people to play with. I would like, so really you don't want a humble beholder, you want a virtue signaling beholder. That's what you're looking for. Because being overly humble is just disguise. Oh, absolutely. I feel like you're trying to create my mother, who is like amazing at backhanded compliments and is just constantly like, oh, well, I'm sure you didn't mean to destroy my entire week by doing this thing because you're better than that. Like, it's okay. I'm sure
you're really good with your 2 eyes. Those 2 eyes are really good for you. Well done. But your depth perception, spot on. I mean, mine shoots lasers, but your 2 eyes.
Yeah, I feel like this beholder would definitely go up to someone and be like, "Hey, Debbie, I'm so sorry to hear that your kid became a lich. I know it's so difficult when a child dies, but then it's even more difficult when they come back and they're just a monster. Like that's if you need anything, I will bring you a casserole. Oh, excuse me though, I do have an appointment. Goodbye."
A casserole?
Yeah. It's now canon that beholders like to bring casserole.
That's been around since like first edition. I'm surprised you don't know about it, Charlie, to be honest.
Yeah, Charlie, I need you to get up to speed on beholders, please.
And the beholder law. I mean,
yeah, and being mainly evil, I'm sure it's all tuna casserole.
I mean, it's not just tuna casserole. It's microwaved in the office.
Oh, just stop!
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Have any of you watched on Netflix? It's the Oats Studios, I think it is.
Yes.
The one with like the guys doing the ads for like the little kitchen products, and like one's like the sushi matic, and it has hair in it. Has those long long things of hair. And he's like, oh, that's what I get in my mind when you say beholder tuna casserole, like
Absolutely.
without so much cat in it.
Yeah. I feel like the beholder would just be like, what exactly is tuna? It's really just anything I find in my lair.
There would be like a paw sticking out of it, you know. The obligatory like cartoon fly swirling over it. I made it myself. It is delicious. It holds meat. You like meat?
Everybody in the office just like, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and that of course would be the overly humble, you know, beholder. I'm sorry, I just make for everybody. You know, like what I make. Why the beholder with an intelligence of 17 sounds like he's basically been eating paint chips for the last 10 years? I don't know.
Barbarian beholder. I like that idea.
Do you have a certification of lead purification in the beholder's cave? But
no, this is
what?
pestos. See,
So we get
pestos.
to actually writing something down, gents.
oh, are we supposed to be? Oh, we are.
Yeah, we're supposed to be creating some of these, apparently.
How dare you?
Right. Okay.
Sorry.
Enough theory,
Dare
and
you.
we're just flinging things at the wall, seeing what we'll see.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
And Jello splat.
All right, so we're gonna start as a small. Do you want to start as small or as tiny?
Well, normally what we did 2 weeks ago is write down everything the beholder did, and then start at level 1. So do you want to do that
yes.
again?
But I'm just doing the size and type to start.
Okay, yeah, you can start as small, yeah, that makes sense.
Small. So this is
yeah,
a small aberration.
Tiny is 2.5 by 2.5, right? So
Yeah. So do you want like a tiny little like sort of fairy size?
little
Nice
cantaloupe sized beholder babies floating around.
Yeah.
And they all need to be like, you know, just new baby tone. You know, they just all have like pink
Yes.
or dark or mocha, and they've got that dewy shine on them. You know.
Thank you. Don't let Loki out.
Describing a beholder as dewy.
Don't you judge my process. Don't you judge my process, man. I'm an artist. We're creating here. No bad
I am
ideas.
an artiste, and I will not be questioned by the likes of you. Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
In France, they know how great I am.
I need you to leave.
Right, yeah, so they start as tiny and grow large.
Yeah, I quite like that.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to create a little spot here where we're just gonna list all the things. So,
Yeah.
So we need to go size up to large.
Mm-hmm.
We need 10 eye stalks. Level up the main eye. Gain legendary actions.
Also, it's CR 13 armor class is an 18, so
Yeah.
the hide needs to toughen over its
Oh, yeah.
lifespan. The bigger it gets, the harder and more calloused. I was gonna say hornier, but with this crowd, I don't dare say the skin grows harder and
Big, harder, and hornier. Oh yeah.
yeah, well, you know what I mean.
This so I think the thing that we did last time too was we created a situation where, like, if you're playing at home, you start this instead of taking like a race, your race and your class are both beholder, right? So you start just with straight 10s across the board. And over the course of several, like of all the levels, you eventually gain all of these extra stats. We were also talking about just doing a standard array to start because beholder heroes would have like somewhat better stuff. than the others, right? But it's still going to create all kinds of bonuses so that you will have like stat bonuses regularly, since you're not going to be getting quite as many things as the other heroes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm super curious to see how Beholder magic items are going to work, because that is super delightful. That would make me very happy. All right, let me see. So we've got increased AC, and let's look at the stats of the actual Beholder. So a Beholder, let me pop this open, as my computer takes a very long time. Okay, so its strength is fine. Its dex, what we're looking for are things that are sort of outside the standard array. So with this, what my suggestion would be is that we do a +1 dex, or no, +2 to dex total, probably +4 to constitution total, +3 to intelligence, +3 to charisma, and +2 to wisdom.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So we'll do, so let me put that in. Let me see if I can remember what I just said to you.
Well, I've got it here because that's just the stat block. So strength is +0, dexterity is +2, constitution is +4, intelligence is +3, wisdom is +2, and charisma is +3.
Intelligence is +3. Wisdom is +2, you said?
Yes, and charisma is +3.
And that way, we will get a Beholder that is, regardless of how you start, is going to be large, have good constitution, intelligence, charisma, and decent dex and wisdom. You know, so that you get to that level of delightfulness with the monster by the time you're there. You know, let me see. All right, cool.
So to clarify, the ability increases there, are those the bonuses after like a intelligence 17 is the +4, or are those that are going to be added to the base rolls? Or
so we're actually going to be adding to the stats.
Okay.
So there will be, so across its adventuring lifetime, let's see, what does that give us? That gives us 2, 6, 9, 11, so 14. So we could add a plus to something all the way up till its capstone ability at 15 when its eye finally reaches maturity, right? So we can just sprinkle these in, you know, based on sort of what changes. Like when they change size, we can add constitution. When they do something else, we can give them a little dexterity, you know, things like that, so that they're just constantly improving.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Another +1. Well, if you think of beholders, they're not really strong. They bob around like, you know, prom decorations. So they're smart, they're tough, and they have a forceful personality. So I would opt to either put it into the intelligence or the charisma. That's my take.
Doing the
Putting the
what?
+1. The extra +1 that we were talking about.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say intelligence because it's definitely more of a casting class, like a casting monster class than anything else. So definitely, I love that. There is, what's going on, soul? Welcome. There is, yeah, Bleak Season. That sounds terrifying. And there's actually, in 3.5, there was somebody like on, like this is pre-Reddit, but like sort of in that sort of, it was in like, I think it was like GeoCities or something like that. One of the older ones. They did something similar to this where they tried to sort of stat this out. I didn't really like the way they did it because it was like the monsters just became so insanely powerful by the end of it that it was impossible to play them. But they also did one where you could multi-class into different monsters. And they did the combo of the Beholder and the Gibbering Mouther. So that the beholder's eyes were actually mouths. They would, yeah, it was terrifying. Oh my God. It was so horrifying. So yes, good instinct.
I actually, you know, it's I forget who or where, but I feel like a beholder that is covered in mouths, a floating ball that I've seen the art and I've seen stats somewhere. Yeah, that feels really familiar.
Yeah.
Could just be
Very unpleasant.
glitch in the Matrix, but it feels familiar. Yeah. Which is to say, not that that's not an original idea. It's just that good ideas come around. Good ideas come around.
Yeah. Just so you know, its saving throws are +8 to intelligence, +7 to wisdom, and +8 to charisma.
Okay, I think that will be, so they've got an extra saving throw.
Yeah.
I think then what we can do is that we can separate those out so that they get them at different places. So what saving throws do they get?
+8 to intelligence.
Well, so I think with intelligence, because they've got a +5 proficiency, essentially we'll just give them proficiency in specific saving throws.
Okay.
So
I think that's the same then, because charisma is +8. So, yeah.
Proficiency.
Okay.
So what's the first one?
Now.
Intelligence +8.
Yeah.
The first one is intelligence. The second one is
Wisdom and charisma.
all right, fabulous. So we've got to give them proficiencies in those.
They're also proficient in perception.
In perception.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
They notice shit.
Perception. All right, fabulous. And what else do we need to give them? Do they have any resistances?
None.
No.
They are immune to being prone.
They also have dark vision.
Bro.
Typical fucking player has to let you know. Every player has to let you know that they've got dark vision.
I do.
See a tavern, I have dark vision. Gah!
Do you?
It's a cloudy day. Dark vision.
Well, it's not dark in there. They're having a foam party. Can you
Yeah.
see through foam?
I've done that. I've done mist and like fog and everything. I've got dark vision.
Right.
Great, you're blinded by bright light.
Or you just create that really high powered goblin that has a penchant for collecting eyeballs.
Oh my god.
I see you.
Right. Is there anything else that we need to include from the basic
speech,
parts of
maybe?
that?
The languages are deep speech and uncommon.
Well, deep speech, I'm going to give them that to start.
Yeah.
Deep speech.
And then that's it in terms of skills. Obviously, after that, we've got the eyes, legendary, and lair actions.
Fabulous. Okay, I think we can do so. What I'd like to do with the eyes is I'd actually like to go through and see which are the most powerful, because I don't think that they are put in the right order. Like, I think that being paralyzed is far worse than having fear cast on you.
They do kind of yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I want to have what I'd like them to do is I'd like them to be controllers initially and then get their super damaging things at the end, you know? Like Death Ray, yes at the end. Disintegration, yes at the end.
Okay.
Like and like Enervation Ray at the end. And then have the other things that, you know, like sleep is really easy to get out of. You know, it is just like charm, sleep, fear, all of those super easy if you've got anybody who can do anything in the party, you know?
Yeah. I would actually put fear as the very, very first one.
Yeah.
Because other than that, cannot approach closer, it really doesn't have a huge effect, you know, and then disadvantage. Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot going on.
Yeah. Right. It's there is a mechanic, a difference in Warhammer, because there's fear and there's terror. And I have always wanted a terror in D&D. I have always wanted a terror.
So they did that in 3.5.
Yeah.
In a thing, I forget exactly what the supplement was called, but it was all about horror campaigns.
Yeah.
And they gave you mechanics for insanity and madness, and like I think terror was one of those things that it was a different kind of mechanic.
That's cool.
And it taught you, one of the things that I loved about it is it really talked about how to set up suspenseful campaigns where people are still, like your players are still interested in moving forward, but they don't know exactly what's going on, and how to build the tension in an encounter, and how to like layer on all kinds of new crazy things as they discover how to overcome one obstacle, the next obstacle gets piled on, you know, and it just keeps that tension up further and further and further until you start losing sanity. And then you start gaining. And it was essentially, I think it was sort of D&D's answer to Call of Cthulhu, where they were answering like, oh, if you want to do this, we can do that too. So yeah, D&D has a lot of answers for a lot of things.
I mean, yeah, if you want to do it, it's out there. You know, like you mentioned Cthulhu and Sandy Peterson's, Cthulhu Mythos for 5e. Good source book.
Yeah.
Good source. Yeah.
Well, we're actually doing, like here we are, we're working with a Call of Cthulhu publisher called Old Goat, who is, we're actually going to be doing one of their games for three sessions on Fridays. And then I'm actually working with them to create a Call of Cthulhu adventure that we're going to be playing near Halloween. It's turning out to be much longer than we thought it was going to be, because I don't do anything easy. Like it's never like, oh, this will be fine, then we'll be done. It's straight up like, okay, how do we tell a truly horrifying story? Like, how do we actually get here? Because one of the things that I see with third-party Cthulhu Mythos stuff is that a lot of times they have like really good sort of, here are the clues that you have to follow to find what's going on, and that's fun. Like if that's sort of like, am I like sort of dinner mystery theater type thing, you know? Yeah. But very few of them are really good at delving into just the horror that you're supposed to be encountering. And not just, I've seen some that try to do it with like gore, but I'm like, that's not what H.P. Lovecraft was about. First of all, let me say, H.P. Lovecraft was a vile fucking racist. But he created a mythos that survives to this day, and it is absolutely, when you dig into it, it's absolutely gorgeous, you know, what he created. So let's take all the racist shit and leave it behind, and let's take the other stuff and let's make something beautiful with it. But a lot of people don't get that this is existential horror, and it is not like horror porn. And so there is, you know, it's, again, how do you build that tension? How do you drop clues from moment one that something weird is happening and you don't know what it is? And that you probably will never fully understand it. You will go insane before you truly comprehend what is happening in the universe around you. Like that's, anyway, long H.P. Lovecraft.
Lofty goals.
Right. Let's focus. Back to the beholder.
So, the beholder. Let's start. So first, what do we think so at the beginning, what are the things that they have? So they will be size tiny. Let's see. I'm gonna say, let's start that. They can be very smart to start. So we'll give them a +1. I don't know what just happened. +1 to intelligence. So we'll take one of those pluses away from intelligence. There we go. Proficiency, intelligence. So they've got that saving throw proficiency to start with. Proficiency, perception. And I'm going to say, since most classes give you like 2 proficiencies to start at level 1, let's do proficiency and 1 other proficiency based on your backstory. And
Sleight of hand.
you're a monster. You should be ashamed.
Animal handling.
They float, so we can definitely do immune to prone, dark vision, deep speech, and fly at what speed at this point? Do we just want to give them 30 feet to start?
30 feet for a tiny object is quite quick.
Do we want to have that? Do we want to do 20 feet and then level it up as they get bigger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, and now we get, what is the first eye stock? Do we want to make that fear?
Yeah.
Fear is the little death. It is the mind killer.
Thank you, Dune. Hi, Mr. Herbert.
Right. I'm gonna write a story about vaguely Arab drug addicts. Yeah, let's go crazy.
Oh my God, yes. I did love the movie.
Oh God,
That's
yeah,
making
don't
me
get me.
happy.
Loved it. It's art.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. I mean, and I adore so much about that, but I'm also like, I'm of that era where it was all like science fiction was Isaac Asimov, you know, Frank Herbert, Sagan, and like Bradbury, and all of them. Like, I loved that whole really, and one of the things that I really loved about it is that there were plenty of science fiction where it's just like, oh, this is fancy and cute and it's gonna be great. And then there were the ones that really thought deeply about, what does this really look like in the future? What real effect will this technology have on human society based on what we know of them right now?
Yeah.
And just incredible. Like Isaac Asimov especially, with this whole Foundation series and I, Robot and the Robot series, just astonishing insights. My personal favorite, like as we are just telling stories this way, favorite science fiction series is the Rama series. Absolutely stunningly, beautifully written. Centers the story on humanity, but lets you know that the universe is not. And it is just, it's one of the most gorgeous descriptions of the universe that incorporates both science and religion that I've ever seen. And just, there are legit moments where you are weeping openly as you are reading this book. It is stunningly beautiful, and I think it's 3 books. So anyway, yes, that
Rama is the big gigantic cylinder ship thing that shows up, right?
So there are, so that's the one, but there's actually 3 cylinders because in Rama everything happens in 3s, and
I think I read the first one a long time ago, like high school.
Yeah. And the first one's really interesting, but then another one comes through, and then they get on board, like they create a mission that sends them to the 3rd one so that they can actually travel with it. So they set up colonies inside the 3rd one, and you see what happens when, you know, there's no longer any real governmental control and all this kind of stuff. And there's one of the most beautiful things that I've seen is this gorgeous understanding of war from another species' perspective. They've got a whole species that communicates with color, right? And each one of them, they're really good at genetic manipulation. So each one of them is like they've sort of genetically modified themselves to be as good as possible. And one of the things that they understand is that after you have like taken a life of someone else, that changes forever, you know, and that it's this whole discussion about what that means and how you deal with that in society. It's just, yeah. Has anyone ever died to a beholder? Paul, I believe they have. I believe many have. I mean,
I meant specifically in chat, not just anybody ever.
That is a good question, chat. Have any of your characters actually been killed by a beholder? Because it's normally like a big bad that you defeat. So I don't think that any of my people have died to a beholder that I can remember. I know some of them have sort of gone down into unconsciousness because no one's actually been killed.
I've whapped quite a few players pretty hard with the disintegration ray, but yeah, I don't think I've actually killed anyone.
Yeah. No, there's a couple, like that disintegration ray is real, so is the petrification ray. Like that gets brutal, absolutely brutal. There's all right, so
I just wanted to call out and apologize for eating lunch on this stream. It's lunchtime here, and I made the mistake of skipping breakfast. And if you don't want me to be a horrible guest in about an hour, yeah, like screw your beholder, screw this Dungeons and Dragons crap. Ah!
I hate them all.
You'll just see a hand come on screen with a Snickers bar and like,
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. Oh my god. I feel like that's really important. Absolutely. And oh my gosh, I think it is very important that you take care of yourself on screen. And especially some of those things where if it's something that we all do, like, let's not be ashamed of it. Like let's not shame people for eating. Like,
how dare you eat? You fool!
Well, we have all watched those streams where people are playing, and maybe they're new, they don't know how to comport themselves, and you have that person who's literally digging stuff out of their teeth, like right in the camera, and the mic, like,
right.
So, you know, I'm gonna, and then they take a hit off their vape, you know, and you're like,
oh my god, I have had to that.
This is not story time. We do need to make a beholder at some point in this stream.
Paul, you're missing the point, dude.
I know, yeah. Monster Mayhem, but
you did intend to have beholders in this beholder show, right, Kyle?
No.
In theory, Kyle wants to make 5.
So
it's
sorry.
Lies all the way to the bottom.
Yeah. Ampersand's
right,
gonna be like, I am never but Joe.
So first, let's start with the sizes then, right? So we've got our first level. We know where we're starting. They've got all the basics, right?
Mm-hmm.
So their first eye stock is going to be the fear stock. Let's look at, so if they've got 10 eye stocks, that gets us to level 10. There is, I think the central eye is an 11th. The 3 legendary actions would get us to level 14, and the layer actions would get us to level 15. So do we do like 15 is a decent number of levels for this?
Yeah.
And then you can pick up like 5 levels in another class as you continue to go?
Yeah.
I think that's solid. All right, so we're gonna get rid of these other classes. So we have 15 levels. So let's look at, to get us to large, do we want to make them in sort of even increments?
I was going to say 4, 8, and 12.
4, 8, and 12?
I was going to agree with that, yeah.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Okay, let's size them up then. I like it. Size small. 8, we become size medium. And at 12, you are large. Size large. Fabulous. All right, so we've got that. Next, so AC, how much does it get increased from 10?
It goes up to 18. Goes up to 18.
Okay, so based on its dexterity, how much is above and beyond that? So it'd be 6?
Six.
Okay.
6 due to the hide.
So do we want to do, for the AC increases, I'd like to make sure that they also come with increases in size. So +1 to AC, natural armor.
So that would technically be a 13 at level 4.
Yes, which I think is, but I think we'll add it to a couple of other spots too.
All right.
Since we've gone through 6 of them. So that's 3. Let's add, let's also add them in when they get legendary actions. Essentially just, now they're super aware of what's going on and they gain AC because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So where do we want to add some legendary actions in there?
How many legendary actions does it get? Just one.
It gets
Just
3.
the one. Just
Oh,
has
it's just
one.
one.
Yeah, just the ray. One uses.
Yeah, the
It
legendary
can take
actions is one,
3
but
legendary
that
actions, but it only has.
That's what I'm saying. Is like, so it
Oh,
gets
okay.
three charges of legendary actions.
11, 12, 13.
Um,
Or is that just a bit is that just dumb?
I'd like to split it up a little more than that. I feel like once they get into sort of the second stage of adventuring, they probably get there first. So,
yeah, what about if we just do it when they first meet medium, which I think is level 8?
well, I'm thinking one level after that. So maybe like
Okay, yeah.
9, 11, and 13. They get their legendary actions. So gain 1.
Actually, when you think about it, around 5th level is when players start to unlock some of the cool stuff, the action surge, the fireball. Why not give it 1 legendary action at like level 5 or 6?
Sure. So let's do level 6, and then level 10, and then how about level 14?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Paul, what do you think? Are you?
Either that or -1 to each of those numbers, and it's the level after they gain a size.
Okay, that works
So if they're
too.
gaining a size at 4, 8, and 12, give it to them at 5, 9, and 13.
That works. That has a certain symmetry to it.
Yep.
It's like with the Displacer Beast that we did, Kyle, 2 weeks ago. Every time it grew a size, the next level, it gained an ability. Or one of its abilities gained a power or something.
I love it. All right, so that's its legendary actions taken care of. Cool. So we've got legendary actions taken care of. And they get the increase to their dexterity at that same time, or increase to their AC at that same time. So
13, 14,
that.
15 by 12. Okay.
Yeah, so by level 13, they should be level 8. They should have 18 dex.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's fine. We should be good there. All right, cool. So that's their AC taken care of as well. Yay, we are just trucking right along here. Proficiencies. When should they gain their other proficiencies? Ooh, you know what? I think it should be tied to when they get certain rays. Like when they get charm ray, they get wisdom, their wisdom saving throw. And then do they have a charisma based save one? Let's see, that is
Sleep?
Constitution. Is sleep charisma? No, that's wisdom. Dexterity.
Wisdom, strength, dex. Yeah.
Don't think they have a charisma one.
Then let's say, I'm fine with that. If it's the sleep ray, when they get their sleep ray, that's when they get their charisma bonus, and when they get their charm, they'll get their wisdom bonus.
Or do
How
you
do
want to
you feel
swap
about
those two? Because I feel like you have to be more charismatic to charm someone than to sleep someone.
Right?
Like, if you're charismatically putting someone to sleep, that's probably not great.
The charm, the charm also has the potential to be a little more powerful because as we've all played charm, you usually can talk that charmed party member into doing something against the party, whereas sleep, they're just unconscious. So sleep is probably the best entry. That's also isn't that a first level wizard spell as well?
Charm is, yeah.
Charm
And
is,
sleep
okay,
is too. Yeah. Most of them are either first or second level spells, and then you jump up to like your 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th level spells. Real
Right.
fast. It is.
Save or die.
Right? Quite literally. All right, so let's do eye stocks then. So at level 2, we've done the fear. I feel like sleep would actually be the second one because all you have to do is like pinch someone for 1 point of damage and they'll wake up.
Yeah.
You know?
Lie down.
How do we feel about that?
I would agree. I would agree with
Yeah,
that.
that makes sense.
Okay. I stop. Sleep. All right, cool. Then level 3. What eye stock are you going to get? And now, just reminding myself that you get eye stocks every level except when you get a legendary action.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about telekinetic ray?
Ooh.
Telekinetic ray. All right, so we've
So
got,
we've got fear, sleep.
fierce sleep, telekinetic ray. Throws people. Is that less powerful than like a slow ray or a charm ray, something like that?
It's not a throw. It moves it,
No more.
and it's restrained. So
No.
it's
Okay.
it's an involuntary mover. So it is a control. And the target is restrained, and then it is also how the beholder can do fine object, manipulating a simple tool or opening a door. So I think it needs the telekinetic ray at this point to interact with the environment.
I agree. Do we want to make that number 1 instead of fear? Because I think that would make sense where like you can't because the telekinetic sphere, you can't just crush someone, right?
You can just move them.
Yeah, I feel like that would be the first thing. That's the thing that allows you to manipulate your environment. That would be the first thing that you.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
You know.
Because
Maybe
you know
I
when
can
Paul
go
said
down one and then put telekinetic ray there.
because when Paul said giving a beholder animal handling, right? I pictured a beholder like shepherd and like picking up sheep with its mouth and moving them. You know.
Like the worst sheepdog in history. Get over there.
All right, so if we've got fear, sleep, and telekinesis taken care of, the next one, do we want to do paralyzing, slowing,
Charm.
or charm?
Yeah, charm I think would
Let's
work.
get charm out of the way. It's a
Absolutely.
because I think if I was like I'm level 5 and I just now got charm, I'd be like,
Yeah, that isn't really the big power spike you're looking for at level 5, is it?
Right.
no.
Well, you gain your legendary action at 5, so you don't get an eye stock.
Yeah.
So now you have 4 eye stocks that you can use: telekinesis, fear, sleep, and charm. And you can use all of them and then at 5th level, then suddenly you essentially get your second attack each round as a legendary action.
Yeah.
You know? All right, so now
Your second attack, and you are going to be moving, fearing, sleeping, or charming.
yeah, absolutely. I love that where it's like you get to see who's terrible on the combat field, and then be like, you go to bed. Just go to bed. Yes.
It actually makes a kind of sense that a small, immature beholder doesn't have the energies of the craft necessary to actually harm and can only kind of like, you know, because that is a very defensive build right now. Yeah. So it makes sense. I like what we're doing here.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's fabulous. If we are going in that direction, then what we can do as we move forward is now we've got the things that stop people from getting to you. So everything we've done so far is something that essentially moves people away from you or makes them friendly. Now we can do things that like stop people from even getting close to you. So this would be the paralyzing ray, the slowing ray, and I think capping it with
Petrification.
The petrification. Yeah. All right, so do we want to do slow or paralyze first?
I think slow then paralyze makes sense, because why would you slow someone if you could just stop them?
And so
it builds into that I am learning.
They build on each other.
Yeah.
Slow, paralyzed, petrified, yeah.
What's the difference between paralyzed and petrified?
So paralyzed is just you are stopped, you cannot move. Petrification actually turns you into a statue. Petrification
requires a greater restoration.
Yeah.
For an antidote. Yeah. Oh, we got raided by Games and Tea.
Hi there, welcome. Hi, Games and Tea. I hope you are having a fabulous Sunday. We are creating monster classes today, and today we are focusing on beholders, so that you can play a fabulous beholder in your next campaign and level up with your party. So I love this. Makes me very, very happy. Games and Tea, you are awesome for rating. It makes me very happy. And I just want to remind everybody that September is Subtember on Twitch. So all subs are half off. I think it is for the month of September. I can't remember exactly how much it is, but there's a significant chunk of sub that is shorn off of the rest of it. So thank you for coming over here and being fabulous in the chat and all that good delightfulness. There is, let's see, so we're currently working at which level you get your eye race. And I think we're doing really good with first there's the emotional manipulation that you get at the beginning, then there's the physical manipulation that you get next, and then you get the murdery things.
Sounds like my ex-wife.
Ooh, that's fun.
That was such an easy jab as well.
Yeah.
But honest. Easy but honest.
That's right. Fucking exes. Oh yeah, it's Phantom. Hi Phantom. Hi Baba Yaga. Yay!
Hey! Phantom, you're everywhere, dude.
Oh yeah, Phantom is awesome. They are definitely one of the VIPs in our chat. They are here every single session. And one of the things that I love about them is that Phantom, let me talk to you since you're in chat right now, not about you. Phantom, you are great because you have such fabulous ideas and you're so happy to share them. And it just really, anytime you're in a collaborative space and you have people throwing ideas out, it only helps to encourage that creativity and move it forward. So thank you for that. You are on us. Awesome. Let me see. Let's see what is happening now. All right, so we've got petrification. Great. Then they're going to get their legendary action. And then we have got 3 more rays. We have got Death Ray, Disintegration Ray, and Enervation Ray. So I feel like it should go Enervation, Disintegration, and Death. Does that make sense?
What's the first one you just said?
Enervation.
What's that?
Draining your
and-
energy, making you weak.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
it does necrotic damage. In 3.5, what it did is there was something called enervation, where it literally would give you negative levels. So if you were like level 15, you would get enervated and you would suddenly become a 14th level character. And then a 13th level character if it happened again, and then a 12th level character if it happened again. And it would take a long time. Enervation took a really long time to like remove or to sleep through to gain your abilities back. But it was, I'm so sad they don't have it in this, because it was such a useful tool for DMs to just like have like, oh, you think you got this because you just got this brand new power? Nope.
I'm not
Sorry.
at all surprised they don't have it anymore. That sounds heartbreaking.
Old D&D
It is-
rewarded sadism quite a bit.
Yeah,
Jesus.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah, you're right though. It needs to be enervation, disintegration, death.
Yeah.
Enervation is 8 die 8. Disintegration is 10 die 8, and death ray is 10 die 10. And if you are reduced to 0, it is insta death. Insta death. Do not roll death saves. Do not go into the light. Skip it all. Go directly into the other world. So
That's not how you spell that. Disintegration. There we go. And finally, when you become large, you get
it's a party on a yacht.
Yeah.
Look
That's
it.
right. That is correct. All right, so we've got our eye stocks. We have got our AC. We have got all of that kind of stuff. Let's look. All right, so let's do. So that's eye stocks taken care of. All right, so we said that when you get charm, that's when you get your proficiency in charisma, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
All right, and when you get, and the wisdom was going to be sleep.
No.
Correct.
All right,
Fine.
so proficiency, wisdom. All right, cool. So we've got our proficiencies taken care of. Delightful. Let's now look at the main eye. All right. So it looks like at 3rd level, 4th level, 5th level, 8th, 9th, 12th, and 13th, you get 2 things each, right? And we're going to be having pluses to your stats at each level. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 levels where you're not getting things. So do we want to make 7 levels of leveling up your central eye?
Yeah.
So the anti-magic field is a 150-foot cone. So I think things that we could do is we can start with like a 15-foot cone that does something basic, and then extend it or increase its power every level that we need to. How does that sound?
If you purely wanted to increase its size, I would recommend doing a 10-foot cone and then increasing it by 20 in every slot where they don't get it, because that will equal 150.
Okay, fabulous. I love it.
That's a good answer, Paul. That's a good answer.
I like somebody that knows their maths.
I love math. I will do math in my spare time. Like, math is a hobby for me. I like it.
All right, so we've got 10-foot cone, 10-foot cone. And so what will it do at the very beginning? So it's just a 10-foot cone looking around. And eventually it's going to become a gigantic cone of anti-magic.
Yeah.
What does this really look like? Where are we going to start?
Well, there was one random.
We could do. They get a any spells that directly target the beholder have a -1 to their DC at that level. And then what we could work with is we could work with size, the DC of the spells, and eventually like getting to, getting to disadvantage for things being cast at them, all of that kind of stuff, until eventually you just cannot cast magic within the cone.
The issue is I think we want to avoid getting too clever with too many mechanics that are going to be a hassle to implement on the fly, because those things are going to be used when in combat. In combat is when it's going to really matter, and it will, okay, well, what does it do this turn? Is this the 10-foot one that has the negative on the thing, or is this the 20-foot one? So I think starting small and increasing the size is probably the best compromise for this.
Do we
because
want
see what it's building to?
So I think what I'd like to do though, because I don't want to make it too powerful, because that anti-magic thing is
as powerful as hell.
But
yeah,
we could definitely create a thing where it's like anyone within the cone casting a spell has disadvantage on their attack rolls with that spell, something like that. So that if people and then increase the size, and then eventually when you get to 14th level or whatever it is, let me look at it. When you get
You also do it so that any enemy has disadvantage on attack spells, but any ally caught in the field has advantage on saving throws. So it could still be an allied thing. You could fire
I think that's three things that we could do across the set. So we can start with, because we are starting with things that essentially help allies, we could do Central Light is a 10-foot cone, and any allies within the cone have advantage on saving throws against spells.
Yeah.
Then when we go to
like an aura. Yeah.
So give them like
a
little thing there, and then we get to level 6, and we can say Central Eye is now a 30-foot cone. And then Central Eye.
Add looking at Mage Slayer, you can do the same as above. Allies have advantage, and then any enemy has disadvantage for any concentration saving throws.
So what? I was planning on putting that at level 10. Where suddenly the enemies then get all their disadvantages and things like that, and we can definitely have disadvantage on their concentration saving throws too. And then at level 14, it becomes the full anti-magic field, which is crazy. But I will we need to put a caveat in there that if the Central Eye is damaged, it closes automatically and will not open back up again until it's healed. Something like that, so that enemies, because the issue is then the dungeon master, if they try to use anything that's magical, is just immediately shut down. So, you want to make sure that there's a way for it to happen. So let's actually saving throws against spells. If the central eye is damaged.
Okay, so
wait. Make it like once per long rest. Limit the uses per long rest as is standard with other characters.
Oh, okay.
If I may, anti-magic field is way too powerful for a playable character. It just is.
For a what?
For a PC, for a player.
Sure.
Even at level 14, 15. So to introduce a new mechanic that personally I've never seen anything have before, why not say the player can make a saving throw of their choice to avoid the attack?
Oh.
So irrespective of if the spell says it's a wisdom saving throw, I can avoid it with a charismatic saving throw. Because that's still quite
a
powerful.
legendary resistance? Because that's what that is. Legendary
Is that what that is? If it's got a
Yeah,
name,
legendary
then yeah, that'd be very
resistance is
convenient.
if they fail, may choose to make it instead. And typically creatures have 3 of those if they've got them.
Oh no, what I was saying was, so say it's a DC 16 wisdom, but I'm not a very wise character, I'm a very charismatic character. I can choose to roll a charismatic saving throw instead of a wisdom one.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I like that. What I was thinking though is that, tell me what you think about this, is that a certain number of times per like long rest, based on something, what you could do is you could activate that central eye and essentially cast Dispel Magic on everything within that. So that it's not a continual thing. But that way you can get rid of some buffs on enemies, but also like it is indiscriminate. So if your friends are up there and they've got good spells cast on them, you got to make a choice whether or not you're going to use it. Does that? How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Okay, it's a simpler mechanic. Yeah.
All right, 10-foot cone, and we'll get rid of this then. So that's a 10-foot cone. Let's say a number of times per long rest equal to your, do you want to link it to proficiency bonus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that'll work. Equal to your proficiency bonus. You may activate your central eye. Anything caught within the cone is affected by a Dispel Magic spell. Let's see. I do want it to sort of like go up in power. So,
but his power increases, his size increase.
Ooh, yeah. That absolutely could be. Well, I want to do it on places where they only have one thing on that level. And with size increases, they always have 2. Because they get the size increase and then they get the natural. And then they get
my apologies. The size of the ray increase. So the eye ray. The bigger the eye ray is, the larger the anti-magic field is.
Ooh,
so
yeah.
It can hit more enemies.
All right, fabulous. So do we want to start it with a 15-foot cone then? And then, or let's start it at second level, 30th level with a 30-foot cone, and then it increases by 15 feet.
Start at 15. 13 on most tactical maps is pretty damn big. Pretty damn big.
Yeah. Sorry. So, well, I'm saying because we get, and it can be smaller than a normal beholder's. I don't think anyone's going to get that angry about having 135-foot, giant, right?
Great. I've got a beholder with cone envy.
Right. Absolutely, as we all do. All beholders have cone envy. All right. So let's do. All right. So we're going to start at a 15-foot. 15-foot cone.
And what level is that, sorry?
That's level 2.
Okay.
So they get that, and the cone is affected by a Dispel Magic spell. This Dispel is 3rd level, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say this dispel magic will automatically dispel any effect that is your number of eye stalks divided by 3. So that eventually, once you get to
number
9,
of eye stalks divided by 3.
yeah, because that way what happens is that when you get 9 eye stalks, then you have the spell as normal, which is a 3rd level spell. So as you get all the way up.
But when you have 5 eye stalks and you divide 5 by 3,
then you get, yeah, you can round up. We'll say round up.
Okay, round it up.
Yeah, eye stalks divided by 3, rounded up. So that way you get, when would that happen then? So it would be, so when you get your 7th eye stalk, that's when you would have the full dispel power.
Okay.
And then, well, and that means that when you get your 10th one, it actually empowers it a little more and it becomes level 4.
Yeah, okay.
So then any spell that is level 4 or less is immediately dispelled, regardless. Okay. But everything else you have to roll on. So at this level, you know, at level 2, you still, it's just 1. It's level 1, you can immediately dispel anything level 1, but you can roll to dispel anything else. Rounded up. Anything else must be rolled as normal.
So is that it will dispel any one effect of a level less than the number of eye stalks divided by 3, or any effect less than number of eye stalks.
To give it that flavor of the real beholder, I want it to be any, like all effects, because that's what the eye stalks, that's what the anti-magic field does permanently. But this way you have to choose when to activate it, so you can shut down magic items and things like that for a time, and you become, because that's really like the true danger of a beholder is that when you're facing it, you like it can shut down literally everything you've got.
Yeah.
You know, so this will allow people to, at this point, it'll be just level 1 spells. So if somebody casts sleep or something like that on teammates, it can just go boop and it's dispelled. No worries, but it only gets 2 of those a day, you know? So that makes life a little easier.
I agree with it.
Is it too powerful?
My gut is telling me that it's gonna need to be trimmed down a tiny bit, but we can come back to it.
Sure.
Like,
well,
there needs to be a limit on it as a player, because otherwise you just see somebody flashlighting around the room. You know, like yeah.
I just spell that is a spell that is the spell whose level is your number of eye stalks divided by 3 rounded up. Anything else supposed to be rolled as normal will automatically dispel.
I don't know if it would be higher or lower, but why not tie that to the proficiency bonus as well? Or the wisdom bonus?
Absolutely. So the spell proficiency bonus divided by 2, let's say, effects. There we go. So that way,
proficiency will I have at level 15?
Do what?
What proficiency will I have at level 15?
At level 15, you should have level 5, so it should be able to 3 effects each time it does it, and it'll have 5 times, so we can get rid of 15 effects total. Or no, at 15 it'll have 2, because normally you round down in D&D. But I still think that's fine. Being able to take out 10 negative effects on your party and shut down like 10 buffs on something else, like we can that's fine. effects. Let's see. Whose level is your number of eye stocks? Anything else? Fabulous. Okay, so we've got that. I feel like that's a good spot for players, you know, like absolutely letting this happen. Hi, FM Marion. There's welcome. I think that is going to be, that'll be a good slot for that. That way you get that beholder flavor, but it's not too powerful. It's not going to shut everything down. And let's see what's next. All right, so the cone goes to 30 feet here. It goes to 45 feet here. And then at level 10, we get to 60 feet. Let me see, central cone. Let's look at it. Central eye is 60 feet. Eye stock disintegration. Central eye becomes 75 feet. And then central eye at level 14. Central eye just jumps all the way up to 150 feet. There we go. So you get half of the way there by level 11. And then at level 14, that's the sort of big player, because now you can cover essentially the entire battlefield. And you can choose which things you want to actually dispel. All right, how do we feel about that?
Better than it was. I still think that is going to be quite powerful to get that from level 2. But it is better, yeah.
Do we want to shift it down from the dispel magic thing and make that something that happens later on?
What do you think, Charlie?
I think I am racking my brain for what you could replace the dispel magic with to keep the flavor. I mean, I'm stuck on. You guys remember Superman 2 when the 3 Kryptonites,
Vaguely, yeah.
Kryptonians come to Earth, and there's Non, and he's trying to learn how to use the heat vision, and it's just like, and it's shorting out. That's what I picture this beholder like, trying, gazing really hard. It's like,
well, let's keep in mind a couple of things. With dispel magic, once you get above the spell level that is automatically dispelled, everything is a roll, and you're rolling against somebody else's save DC. So if you're aiming at a spellcaster, then there is a legitimate chance that you will lose. You know?
Because if their saving throw is like 16, then you've got only a 40% chance of success.
Yeah, there is. So you've got that, but we can also
in the same vein, we could get cute and just at a lower level make it like the interrupts that build up to like a dispel, and start with at level 2. The central eye is something like silvery barbs. Interrupt the spell, and with your reaction, burn the reaction, and boom, do the interrupt, force a reroll, like something like that.
Yeah.
Because that's a low-level spell that is a perennial favorite.
You know that what we can do too is number of times you can do the long range. We can start it as a full action, and then bring it down to a bonus action, and then a reaction, and then eventually a free action at level 14. You know, where you just choose which direction your I-beam's going to go. So you have to
turn it on. Yeah. Okay. Turret mode. Got it.
Okay. So number of times per long rest equal to your proficiency bonus. You may use an action to activate your central eye. Anything caught within the cone. All right, so that goes away. So that sentence just can go away.
Yeah, that's fair. Making it an action. So
So now let's do
Excuse me.
up to proficiency bonus divided by 2 effects. Whose level is your number of eye stalks divided by 3 rounded up, are targeted with silvery barbs. So I think that is, so I think so at second level, it would be 1 effect of first level. You can target the caster with silvery barbs.
Just remind me what silvery barbs is again?
So it forces the caster to make a, if I'm remembering correctly, forces the caster to make a concentration check on a thing that they are doing, and it gives you advantage on like your next thing.
Yeah, you confer advantage, and it forces them to make a reroll. You use it as as a reaction. So if they hit someone, you can silvery barbs them, force a reroll, and then you give one of your allies advantage. So using it as an action though, because the reaction forces the reroll.
So I think if using it as an action, because the whole point is that it would be dispelling something.
Yeah.
So it would be, you know, like you use your action to force a reroll on an effect that's already happened.
Okay, that works. Look,
Um,
proof is in the pudding. See how it plays out.
Well, let's see then. All right, so target cards.
FN Marian colon, Mariani colon, I'm not even sure how to say that, said that when I said turning it on, they got the sound of a pull cord start lawnmower, and I could I could just see that the halfling standing behind the beholder just harmonizing.
Make it happen.
Open your mouth, spraying some starter fluid in its mouth. Open it up.
I love it. Okay, let's get through this, and when we get through the central eye stock, then we're going to take a little break so that everybody can go get a drink, take a bio break, take care of themselves, all that good stuff.
Thank you.
Let's see. So we've got this with silvery barbs. All right. So now we've got the icons changing their size significantly. Let's tie this to when the proficiency bonus shifts. So at what levels, I cannot remember at what levels proficiency bonuses change. Let me see. Let me just look at, let's say, Artificer, because that's the first thing on the list. Because it should tell me when proficiency bonuses shift. And let's look at it, shall we? I'm going to scroll down, and we're going to look at this.
Level 5. So level 5 and level 17.
Level 5. So, all right. So level 5.
Oh no. Sorry. I'll have to click on the link and not just skim read it.
And 17. All right. Cool. So at level 5, that happens. I don't want to do it on level 5. Let's shift it to like whatever's closest after that. There is, so that would be, so level 6, they get their slow eye stock, their central eye. And I think what I'd like it to do is shift from silvery barbs to a dispel effect.
That works. Yeah, no.
And why don't we, I do love the flavor of the silvery barbs so much though. I'm gonna say, why don't we say at level 10? Yeah. That's when it shifts to dispel.
That works.
And there's, all right.
Because by level 10, the beholders gain some experience, some worldview. It's a little bitter. It had it up to here, up to the eyes with people's bullshit, and it's just I'm not gonna give you a chance to rethink it. I'm just gonna you're done. You're done.
My apologies, I found a better table. So proficiency bonus increases at level 5, 9, 13, and 17.
Yeah. So I think that's legit. So we've got silvery barbs up to level 10.
Yeah.
Increasing sort of regularly, then it becomes a dispel magic effect. And I think that's honestly, I feel like that's good, you know?
Yeah.
And then we've got, you just shut things down. At this point at level 10, you've got +4 proficiency bonus. So at that point, 4 times a day, or 4 times a day, you can shut down up to 2 effects that are equal to, at this point, you're just missing 2. So yeah, up to 3rd level. So essentially you get like just a boatload of dispel magic checks every friggin' day. Instead of just
that actually, and then if we up it at that point that it is a reaction, you know, because as we move along, then it's something like what fireball?
Yeah.
Right.
I guess fireball. Don't think so. Why would you think that? That was silly. No. Can I just ask, because I've never done it, how does proficiency bonus count with multi-classing? Does it go up naturally still, or?
Yeah, so it's just the number of levels you have total.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Let me see. So you must only use a bonus action to activate your central eye. Now, all right, cool. And then so it's 5th, and then you said 9th?
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so I'm going to say then level 11 is central eye 75. Bless you. You must now only use a reaction to activate your central eye. You may now. Ooh, this is. You know what I'm going to say for this? You may now utilize this power as a legendary action. So at level 15, you can choose from an eye stock or utilizing this as your legendary action. How do we feel about that?
Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah, I like it.
You may now use this. You may now activate your central eye as a legendary action. This ability, I'm going to say it's going to take all of your legendary actions for the round. So it'll take 3 legendary actions to activate it. Ability takes 3 legendary actions to activate. All right, thanks. So at this point, and you just gained at level 13, you just gained your final legendary action. At level 14, you now get another type of action that you can use for those legendary actions.
Yeah.
And then level 15 is, I'd like that to be, if we're gonna do like layer actions, I want it to be some sort of ritual that takes time, that it can't just be done. Like you have to actually spend like a day, you know, like actually figuring out what's going on in this space. There we go. All right, cool. But for right this second, there is why don't we take a little break, shall we? I'm gonna re-up on a little bit of the go-go juice and all of that good stuff. I'm gonna go look at the sun. Gonna see the things. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back in just a few moments. While we are away, remember to take care of yourselves. Definitely go get hydrated, do all the fun things that one wants to do, and join us again as we finish up creating a beholder class, and then jump into all the fun subclasses that we are then going
I
to
don't
be
know how
great.
long you think we have, Kyle, but I don't think we're creating subclasses today.
3 or 4 days? Like, that's fine. You guys can just hang out. No one needs to go to work, right? Like, we're good.
I wish I could do this for 3 or 4 days. I would happily do it rather than.
Well, we can always do, you know what, we can always do subclasses next week.
Yeah.
Just create all of the subclasses. It'll be delightful. How do we do it? Anyway, yes, thank you, everybody. We will see you in just a few moments. And mwah.
See you in a bit.
Hello.
Hello.
Again. I hope that you have gone and gotten something to drink and are taking care of yourself. We're certainly trying to. I went and got something to sip upon. We're going to continue with our beholders.
Behold!
I see there's some 3-day weekends happening in the chat. Happy weekend.
Don't you
Good on
judge?
Hi, platypus. I hope that you're having a glorious day. And let's see where we're at. So I think we've got the central eye all figured out. We're good. They get like super cool. I think this is turning into a really cool class where you get all kinds of shit, like getting the legendary action at level 5. Yes, please.
It definitely would be a lot of fun to play. And looking at this, I'm like, I'd want to play this character, this class, but somehow tie Artificer into it.
Sure.
You know, well,
Create,
like think about it, like
glasses,
yeah,
amplification rays,
exactly, like lenses and like armatures and all sorts of things on it. Yeah.
Well, we can definitely create an Artificer version of this. You know, absolutely.
It
There's
just, I picture like with a big leather strap going around, and in front of the big dinner plate eye are one of those like jeweler's glasses with like all the different lenses, you know, that come down and stuff.
Oh, something that I just realized is that do we want to give it the beholder action of being able to use 3 eye stalks as an action, or is using 4 eye stalks in a round, given their legendary actions, enough?
That's probably enough.
Okay.
I think casting 4 spells in a round is probably fine.
How dare you?
I know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm ruining all the fun. But yeah, 4 disintegration rays is probably fine.
Oh my gosh, that's true. They're gonna have control over what kind of rays.
Yeah.
But no. Okay, so we need to establish something immediately. Is let's see, based on your first eye stock telekinesis. Each eye stock may only be used. So we'll do this at 2nd level. No, you know what? Let's see. Let's do it at 3rd level. Each eye stock may only be used every 3rd round. Because the 3rd level, you've got 3 of them, so you can use them in sequence, and then you can start choosing, but it won't allow you to just spam things.
Death ray,
you know?
death ray, death ray, death ray, death ray.
Yeah. And let's see, the 3rd round. So at what point though, so it won't be till level 13 when they get, well, let's see how this works out. So you can use each of those once per round, then you get a legendary action. So now you've got 2 eye stalks per round, but you can only use them once every 3 rounds. So it's not until level 6, every 3rd round. There is, let's say, how do we want to deal with that?
I don't know what your problem is because you didn't quite finish a single sentence.
So the issue is that if we say it can only be used every 3rd round, Then when you get a legendary action, that gives you 2 eye stocks per round, but you can still only use 1 eye stock every 3 rounds. So that means you could use, at that point you have 4 eye stocks. So essentially for 2 rounds, you could use your 2 eye stocks. And then on the 3rd round, you wouldn't be able to use either of them because you'd already used them once every 3 rounds. Let's say this is easy enough to fix, sorry. Every 2nd round. So each eye stock may only be used every 2nd round. And then once you have 6 eye stocks, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, at 7th level, each eye stock may only be used every 3rd round. Then you get your next legendary action at level 9. But at that point, you should be okay because you have at least 6 eye stocks.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
So that should be totally okay. And yeah, so that should be fine. So we should be good there. I like it. And that'll keep you from spamming. So that's good. All right, so now we need to give out all the fun stat bonuses. So I think, dexterity, where do we want to give dexterity at? We've got 2 of them.
Where we increase the movement speed, because I recommend there.
Oh, thank you, yes. So size small, movement.
And then constitution with its size, because that makes sense.
Yeah, so movement goes to, let's see, so we'll say fly 25 once they become small. And then +1 con. Delightful, so we've got that.
Actually, the movement, just as an aside, Paul, we can discuss what color types. At size, it only goes 20. So wouldn't it make better sense if we had tiny and it had like an insane fly, like 40, and the bigger it gets, it slows down.
Ooh, I actually do like that. Yeah. How do you feel about that, Paul?
Like
Yeah,
it,
that's
Paul.
fine. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah!
All right, so fly 40, then it'll be, where's that? Fly 35 +1 con, then it'll be
It
fly
also
30.
makes sense to have the beholder move further and put yourself in more danger because its ray can't reach as far.
Yeah.
So that makes sense, yeah.
And then also if it has a, because at those lower levels where it's tiny, it's all about avoidance and control.
Yeah.
So it's like, and you begin to see the ecology of these things.
Mm-hmm.
Although since we're starting with them tiny now, and Phoenix is on here now. Hi, John.
Oh no! Is John here?
I now picture a pet shop like on the Rocket Brawl with a big silver cage of baby beholders.
Oh,
Right. And Joel is here. Hi, Joel. Yay! We have all the cool people in chat today. I love it. Makes me very, very happy. There's okay, so everybody in your best behavior. They're watching now. It's Charlie. Charlie.
Yes, Kyle. I'll be good.
Okay. All right, so we've got +3 to con. So we've got 1 more constitution. I'm just gonna give that at level 15, I think. So we'll do +1 con up there. And that takes care of our constitution stuff. So where do we want to stick the dex?
the what?
Dexterity.
Where do you want
I
to
heard
stick
the
the dex?
Everybody wants to stick the dex everywhere.
I
All
thought
the
dexterity
time.
was with movement speed.
Yeah, with the movement speed.
Well, we already tied the movement speed to size.
Yeah, okay.
So
Well,
and we
just
tied,
after the
tied
movement speed
size.
then.
So size we tied movement and constitution. So we need to put these.
Do it.
Yeah, we need to separate dexterity.
Do it after the level after the movement increase or the size increase.
Yeah.
Because it's now grown used to.
It's like
the
going through
the new body.
puberty, you know. It takes you a while to
Yeah.
get used to your limbs.
Exactly.
That's right. And so we'll do +1 dex there, and we will do +1. Where is the? So that's when it gets small. There it becomes medium. All right. So then we will do +1 dex. Well, that's nice because the levels after are legendary actions and natural armor. So we're increasing that natural armor even more. So that's lovely. All right, so we've got, so that takes care of the dexterities. Intelligence of, so we've got 3 intelligence now that we need to, I'd like to tie those. So we've got intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. So why don't we tie those benefits to the eye stalks as they're happening? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that the DCs get more difficult.
Yeah.
So intelligence, we've got tied to telekinesis. The second one is fear. So why don't we do, for fear, let's do wisdom. So +1 wisdom. And for 3, we've got sleep. Why don't we give them a +1? Let's do +1 intelligence there as well. Since we're going to be doing charisma next for charm. +1 intelligence. And then we have got, for the charm spell, we've got +1 charisma. Nice. And next, we've already got the dexterity there. For slow, do we want to do intelligence, charisma, or wisdom?
What did we do sleep for? Wisdom.
Sleep, we did intelligence.
I'd say intelligence first, slow them.
All right. +1 intelligence.
And then charisma for stopping.
Let me see. So sleep, charisma, dex. Right, so slow. So paralyze, you want to say charisma?
Yeah. And then petrification, the one that I've missed. Intelligence? Wisdom? The other one.
We've already got +1 con for petrification. We've got +1 dexterity next. Then we've got enervation is the next one, and we've got 1 charisma, 1 intelligence, and 1 wisdom left.
I'd say
I don't think we're gonna get a perfect match with all these.
No, we're not. We're not.
Wisdom's fine. Wisdom's fine.
Let me
So
see. Well,
just
we've
do
got
wisdom, charisma, intelligence in that order.
wisdom, charisma. I'm going to say enervation, charisma, because you're literally
Okay.
sucking the life out of them. So let's do +1.
How
Charisma.
charismatic do you think this beholder is, and it sucks the life out of them?
More and more, this is my ex-wife.
Yeah, absolutely. Disintegration will do +1 intelligence, and then death. We will. Oh, no, they already got the con there. So the final one will be wisdom. So +1 wisdom. There we go. As they get their legendary action. All right, cool. So we've got those, and finally, what we've got is layer actions. I think what I would like to do with layer actions is just lay that out at 15 and then have like the capstone or part of the capstone for each subclass include layer actions that you can create once you gain the ability to create layer actions.
So the layer action would be different if you subclassed into rogue, barbarian. Okay,
be-
I mean,
it'll-
because not a lot of players get beyond 15th level, so that would be fine.
Yeah. Now the issue would be that like some classes, like their capstone is like level 14 or it's level 17 or something like that.
Yeah.
So maybe we have like a basic layer action and then the capstone allows you to do some other layer action that you want. Do we want to do that instead?
I'm wondering if we even need layer actions with how powerful this is.
Well, if we're gonna go all the way, if we're gonna go to level 15, we need to do something, or we can just take that +1 con away and just make it a 14th level thing.
Yeah, like, I don't think it's going to be so hard to do a layer action in a campaign that most players are moving from town to town.
Well, then let's get rid of that level 15.
Let's let chat decide. Let's chat decide. Chat can
Hey,
help
chat.
us. Ask chat.
Do you want? Is this what you want?
Tell me what you want.
I'm gonna vote for just get rid of level 15.
Yeah.
Because by
Seconded.
level 14, we have gotten like super powerful. We've got amazing things that we can do, and we can utilize all of the subclasses to create really cool things with it.
And
Yeah.
you're role playing a beholder.
Yeah, and you get to play Gotham Beholder. Like,
Right.
so, yeah, so stop whining. Stop whining. You got to play a goddamn beholder. But I do want to look at like the power creep of these things and see whether they're sort of keeping up. So I think at level 1, absolutely. They can sort of like take one person in a round and like sort of take them out of combat. You know, that's sort of what they can do.
And this whole time they've always got the bite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
always
this is fine.
Oh, yeah. Prone, deep speech. First eye stock, telekinesis, attack, bite. There we go. Right, so now we've got the bite in there. Great. Do we want to make it? Nope, the bite's just the bite. I don't want to add anything to that. I think we're good.
I was thinking the exact same thing. But yeah, no, just leave it as is.
Yes, that's right. All right, so it's second level. Now you can choose between telekinesis and fear. And you can do silvery barbs as an action a couple times a day.
Which is cool.
You know, so I feel like that's enough to like jump around and you still have your bite. So if
And
you
you're
lose,
fast. You move 40,
Yeah.
so you still you're
so you're fast, you can fight, and your eye stalks don't run out.
you can and the telekinesis, you can move your buddies out of danger, you can, slam an opponent up against the wall. You're pretty I would be happy to play this at second level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've got some options there, haven't you?
Yeah, you've got some oomph to you. And
Got
I mean
some fun.
the bite is 4 dice 6. So I challenge you to find any 5th
Oh.
level or below character that's doing 4
Is
dice
it?
6.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we're starting with bite.
No, it's 4 dice 6. Leave it alone.
They can't have a
26.
tiny creature do 4 dice 6
With-
With
damage with a fight. Yeah, with
little
one.
ground down nubby teeth. Yeah, just
2d6.
Just do 1d6 and then 2d6, 3d6, 4d6 as it gets bigger.
Yeah. Bite increases to
Good job you pointed that out, Charlie.
yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Hey, now we got more things. Yeah, that 1 dice 6. I picture the beholder having those little like ground down nub, like inbred mountain killer family teeth, that you see in all the movies.
Like dogs when they.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
God.
Right? Beholder comes out. Cletus Ray! Cletus Ray!
Why don't
A bite is a bite unless it's a nip.
we just all anybody wants to do for the poor beholder is get them some floss? You know,
Right.
at first level. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love that. At level 15, you look fabulous while you're doing all the powers. That's right. You sure do. You get. I feel like this. If we created this like as in a video game, That's at 15th levels when you could buy like cosmetic changes to the powers. Like that would be the microtransactions for the beholder. Oh my god. All right, so at level 3, now you can cast 3 different things. And you get a little more powerful and a little less susceptible. So things are good there. I feel like that's a good thing for 3, where, you know, like most other classes are either sort of just jumping into their subclass. Things like that. I think that's fine there. You get a little bigger at level 4. You get another eye stock. Your bite gets better. You get a little faster. You get a little harder to hit. Then at 5th level, you get your legendary action, better armor, and better dex. I feel like that's totally legit. So now you've got 2 actions each round, and you can choose what you're gonna do with them. So I feel like that's fine.
And technically too, the legendary action is very, very powerful for a PC, because legendary actions are used at the end of another creature's action. So as a player, you know, that's
Absolutely.
actually, that's
So it's just essentially you get 2 attack actions and they don't have to be on your turn.
exactly.
There's, all right, so at 6th level, you now get slow. I'm trying to sort of keep up with, like, if you were a mage at this level, what you would get. And slow is a 3rd level spell, I want to say.
Sure.
So maybe,
Okay.
I don't know. There's, so at that point you get, because I think slow and haste are on the same level, and haste is 3rd level. And you can use your eye as just a bonus action. So I would say that's super legit. At 7th level, you get paralyzed, which is really important. And your cone just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Size increase at 8, totally works. Petrification, bite increase, absolutely. Another legendary action at 9. So now you have 3 attacks per turn. That's like a fighter where it's almost a fighter where you can do like your 2 actions and a bonus action. So it's sort of like a monk. And then you increase to dispel instead of silvery barbs. 11, you can now use your reaction as a second life, so you can just shut things down. So now it's gone. So what's happened there is now it's gone from dispel magic to counter spell. Which I think is
doesn't counter spell return the spell? Whereas we just
counter spell just cancels the spell. It used to be in 3.5 that you could cancel the spell, and then I think you could do another roll if you had a certain feat and force the spell to aim back at the spellcaster.
I'd love to say that's probably what I'm thinking of, but I've never played 3.5e or read it, so sure.
There's as far as I know, counterspell is just it just doesn't get cast.
Okay. Why has it got the word counter in it? You're not countering anything.
You what?
Why has it got the word counter? When like you counter an attack, you attack back.
There is.
I'm just saying it's worded wrong. That's all. It's not a counter.
We need to have a rep from WotC come on this channel and explain this counterspell shit.
I will email them.
Do it right now. I love that at level 15 you get an anime magic girl beholder transformation. Absolutely. That is correct. That is what happens. All right, so you've got at 9 now you've got your 3rd action. At 10 you can counterspell. At 11, 11 is when you can counterspell. And you get your disintegration ray. At 12, you get a little bigger, a little stronger. Your bite now does some real damage. You get your 4th attack, So this is now at 13th level. This is where you get to where like a fighter is at certain points at 5th level, where they get their extra attack and then they can do action surge.
Yeah.
You know, so there's, or like with a monk with their key points.
Yeah.
And there is now at level 14, you get the full 150 feet. You can use your centralized legendary action. So I feel like that's legit. If it were me, I would actually stop this class at level 13. And then I would just pick other classes, because I feel like that would be sort of unnecessary there. And this is one thing that I wanna do is like people can like stop whenever they want in these. So if you only want to be, you know, like a medium beholder at level 8, you're good. At level 9, you multi-class into something else and you stop growing as a monster. I think that's sort of how I want it to be set up. So do we feel power-wise that this works with a group of other people that are at the same level?
I'd say yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I have how many campaigns? I got 3 campaigns right now that are tier 3 that are 13, 14, 15 in there. And I'm not seeing anything that I would be really, really worried about. Like, oh, that's just so insane on the higher tiers. It feels okay, but of course the true test is what kind of hijinks and shenanigans we'll see when it's put through its paces, because players get very, very creative, as we know.
Oh, well, and I think that we've also created some guardrails for that. You can't use your eye stocks every single round, all this kind of stuff. You know, like there are things that you're not going to be able to do. You're not going to be able to spam these.
You're not going to be death ray 5 times in a round.
As much fun as that would be.
Yeah. Oh, I killed that Tarrasque in 1 round because I disintegrated it to 0. Yeah.
Right. Oops.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is that if you're only facing like one enemy, then you only have 2 attacks in the round, because you can't layer 3 legendary actions on one enemy. You know, you can just boop, you got the 1. So it's useful for mob combat and is less useful. It's still very powerful, but it's less useful for like boss fights.
Yeah.
Things. And I feel like we definitely built this for control. You know, that this is not something that is going to tank anybody. This is something that needs to be protected so that you can ping all kinds of people from behind, you know, the meat shield, which is what you should be in that situation. I think, so my question then is, what kind of hit dice do we want to do?
I did have it stats, but I don't have it with me now because I put my phone on charge, so I don't know
it's die 10.
So they're D10s. Okay. All right. Fabulous. Let's see. Hit die per level is D10. There we go. Fabulous. So it's not going to be overpowered, and you know, if you want a really strong one, you are going to have to pump up the constitution of these guys. You know. So that'll be fun. All right. How are we feeling about this?
Yeah.
I like it. I've already got builds going on in my head, like the different, you know, I can see one with like the big curly cute, you know, 19th century mustache, just and a monocle, one big monocle.
Right.
You know, just not sure who he is yet, but I can see it. Yeah, just
this is a really interesting concept. Phantom is saying some of the eye stocks have to roll to recharge. I think that's no. Are you denying this, Charlie?
It's a great idea, but at the end of the day, the easier you make it in bookkeeping, the more likely it is to be used. And when you say
there's another player ability that you have to roll to recharge. I know dragons obviously with their fire breath to do, but that's not
and
a player.
And it's one more thing you have to keep track of. Who's going to be rolling it? You know, always think of the things that.
This is already a mathematically charged playable race slash species. Like, you did a lot of math already.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
All right.
I, as a DM, I don't want to be the one who like, okay, did you roll the recharge on iStock 1, on iStock
Right.
and iStock 7? You know, it's like, I get it completely, but it just
If we were to do it, I would only do it on the final 3 iStalks anyway, because I don't see a need to re-roll sleep.
right.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Maybe make it a homebrew rule if someone else was DMing it, but I don't think it needs to be in the class.
All right, so what I want to ask is, do we want to try to do a subclass and see sort of how long that's going to take?
Or we could do all the subclasses next time. Bear in mind there's 4.
Because you're so mean to me.
I am.
Oh,
I'm a
my
cold,
God.
vindictive person.
I cry myself to sleep every night because of you.
Interestingly, that's what helps me sleep at night, knowing that you're doing
Oh, wow. Wow. You are truly the worst person I've ever met.
But
All right, I love it. I feel like we are at a really good spot here with this. I think that
do you want to take note of what the subclasses we had planned are, just so that maybe we can think about them?
Well, let's set this up. So each subclass every subclass in D&D has 4 tiers, right? Like there's always 4 things that they get. There's 4 levels at which they get new stuff, right?
Yep. Yeah.
DM Charlie, is this the case? I think it's the case.
I
sorry,
never
when I was
played
replying
cards
to
because I have
Phantom
no
in
idea
chat.
how they're built. Like, I don't know.
What was the question? I was replying to Phantom in chat.
Each subclass has 4 slots for things across D&D, right? Every class for the subclass. I'm just thinking, is that true? I want to.
4, I think so. Like each class has 4. I thought it was 3 in the PHP. I'm a DM. I don't care about characters.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's stupid. Characters are
God.
stupid.
Characters, let the players deal with that.
All right, let's see.
That's
So
a player problem. That's not a
artificial
dungeon.
specialist.
Right.
So 1, 2, 3. So artificers have
Like, if
4.
it's in the player's handbook, we don't know. Dungeon Master Guide, we also don't know, but we know a little bit more.
You know what? I actually had one of my players say the most ridiculous things to me the other day. Didn't you read the spell? Well, hell no. That's not my job.
Dare you?
God.
The amount of times I've gone, just remind me what that spell does again. Like, read it word for word.
Exactly. Like, let me reread that one, and then you read it out loud, and you're like, that's why it's not going to work in this case.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like everybody gets 4. So yeah, you got your Bard College. That's 1, 2, 3, and let's see, 1, 2, 3. Do bards only get 3? Let me see. You get a 3rd level, you get 6th level, and you get 14th level. You get 2 at 3rd level, and then bards only get the 3. That's so weird. That's so strange. Yeah, well, we can sort of. Why don't we do this? Why don't we assign each one of the ones we've talked about to a specific class subclass? So then we can determine how many things we need, and we can just get that set up for next week. So I'm gonna say.
I think you're gonna struggle to mimic it exactly like what the other classes are, because some of the beholders are so very different to the beholder.
Absolutely.
Like, the Death Kiss doesn't have eyes, so all of its eye rays are gone.
Yeah. Well, so I think that we can. I think we can pretty easily shift that, like, because that's not. I feel like we can take the time to say, I don't want to do that one.
Yeah.
Like that's just so different that no.
I
No,
like the
thank
Death
you.
Kiss. I wanted that one.
Well, we can create a whole separate class that's the Death Kiss.
That's okay. That's all I want.
It is. All right, so besides Death Kiss, like, what's the first one?
Ridge Beholder.
Hold on. Sorry. I'm going to do something real quick so that I can just copy and paste these things really easily. So hold on, just a mo. Just a mo, please. Just gonna go all the way down here. And we're gonna get these things taken care of. Fabulous. Now I'm going to do this. Let's see. And how many do we have?
Aside from Death Kiss, we've got 3. So it's Ridge Beholder, Shadow Beholder, and Death Tyrant.
Okay, so what's the first one?
Ridge, Ridge.
Ridge Beholder. Ridge Beholder. Then we've got subclass of
Shadow Beholder.
Shadow Beholder. And Death Tyrant.
Yeah.
I'm going to add one, which is going to be the Florid, which is going to be the Cleric. All right, cool. So we'll have those 4 subclasses. I think. All right. So the Ridge Beholder, what are the differences?
Absolutely no idea.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Told me to write them down. Like that's all I did. I don't remember.
What's a Ridge Beholder?
It's something Kyle told me to write down like 4 weeks ago. I don't remember what it was.
Oh, that's right. Let's see. Ridge Beholder. It's something when we were looking at that document of different fun beholders.
I only know Death Kiss because I used it.
All right, beholder variants for Dungeons and Dragons. A Ridge Beholder. Okay, let's look at this. Come on, Eyesore, nope. Gawker, nope. Onlooker, nope. Ridge Beholder. Let's see. So they've got, instead of an anti-magic gaze, they have a paralyzing gaze. That is their central eye. So it doesn't stop magic, it paralyzes people. And it's got like weakening ray, clumsiness ray, sickness ray, stupefying ray, insanity ray, mutilation ray, telekinetic, rust, vampiric, and death.
So it's just changing all its eye rays.
It's what?
It's just changing all of its eye powers.
Yeah, I think that this, because they have like the vampiric ray, and all that, I think that this one should be, I want to say that this one would be like the warlock.
I was going to say warlock or necromancer, but because of the vampiric thing, but I like warlock.
I feel like the Shadow Beholder is going to be the necromancer. Oh no, Death Tyrant. Sorry, it's going to be the necromancer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They're undead. So let's look at. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the warlock, and I'm just going to see how many things they get. So let's look at creating a warlock. You get, so at level 1, you get your otherworldly patron. And your pact magic. At level 3, you get a boon. So you get pact boon there. So you get your patron and your pact. So then at level 3, you get your pact boon. At level 6, you get a patron feature. At level 10, you get a patron feature. At level 14, you get a patron feature. So it's 1, 2. So there's essentially, so that's 4. So we can have 4 for that one. And that'll be just fine. This is going to be the warlock subclass. Beholder type Shadow Beholder. Let's look at this. Let's see what this does. Shadow
My
Beholder.
instinct is to go rogue.
It's what?
My instinct is to go rogue.
Oh, absolutely. So they do. So they are a living shadow, and they've got shadow stealth, and its eye rays are like blindness, curse, fear, slow, enervation, banish, telekinetic, strength drain, sickness, and death. So yeah, I feel like this is definitely rogue. So let's look at the rogue. How many of these things do rogues get?
They get 4.
They get 4. Fabulous. All right. So we're going to jump over there. We're going to say, hey, rogue, Shadow, you are a rogue subclass. Delightful. And we will get rid of that 5th one. All right. And Death Tyrant is going to be a necromancer. So how many do wizards get? Subclass. Do they get 4?
I would assume so, but I've never played a wizard, so I don't know.
Let me see. All right, let's look at the wizard. Charlie, do you know?
Not off the top of my head. I'm pulling it up.
Yes. We are going to do, let's see, so you get Arcane Tradition at 2nd, so that's 1,
Yep.
at
1,
6th,
2.
at 10th, at 14th.
They get
Yeah,
4.
they
Yeah.
get 4. Cool. All right, we're going to do fur for them. And a Florid Beholder is going to be a cleric.
And what's the 4th one, sorry? It's your flower one, is it?
Yeah. So they do a lot of healing things. They help things grow. So it could be either druid or cleric. But, oh, you know what? Druid actually would be better there.
Yeah.
That's good. And let's see. So druid subclass gets how many?
4?
17, you say? That's a lot. Wow.
I'm noticing a. Let's see, druid.
Druid. So you get your druid circle at 2nd, 6th, 10th, and 14th. So you get, so you get 4. All right, fabulous. So we're gonna pop over there and we're gonna pop in 4 of these things so that we are prepared for next week. And that's gonna be delightful. So next week or in 2 weeks, we're going to create a bunch of fabulous subclasses for this. I am in love with this now. This would be so much fun to play. Like somebody, especially at early levels where it's like, bang, you like me now. Like, please stop hitting me. Bing.
Don't like you no more. Stop it. No.
All right, so first off, as we are getting close to time, Charlie, tell me, what is your favorite thing about this Beholder subclass if you were to play it?
Subclass or the class itself?
Sorry, the class itself.
The thing that's really appealing to me right now is the life cycle going from tiny, quick, useless to big and scary. Growing into because when we think of Beholder, we only think of Beholder as like Beholder, and sure, we've got the ones that are in the new content that are friendly and they're just curious, like doop-a-doop, they're Muppet Beholders. But this is kind of cool because I could actually start to see people like, oh, I've got a baby Beholder, and it's kind of cute. But I am looking at the subclass of the Shadow Beholder, and it's like a Rogue Beholder. Come on, he's just gonna float into places. Mine. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I feel like that's absolutely. What is the name of the one under Waterdeep that runs the criminal under the Xanathar?
Yeah.
I feel like that's absolutely. The Xanathar is definitely a rogue subclass Beholder.
Right. Yeah, no, I like it a lot. I like how breaking it down, we were able to develop the life cycle, the ecology.
Yeah, absolutely. I love
cool.
that. That makes me very happy. What about you, Paul? What is your favorite part of this fabulous little Beholder?
I'm excited for all the subclasses. I'm excited because we've not done subclasses yet. So mix it up, comparing it with the different classes, like you said, Rogue, Cleric, Warlock, and Wizard. I'm excited to like how different the Beholder, the normal Beholder is at level 1 to 4 versus 10 to 15 or 10 to 14. At the start, it's like, just move you around, calm down, no one fight, stop hitting me. And by level 14 is like death ray, disintegration, murder.
Yeah.
And role playing wise, you could definitely build into that of like gaining that bloodthirstiness, wanting to cause damage. So yeah, really excited for that.
I personally am I'm adoring like being able to create something where as a player you actually get legendary actions. Because for me, one of the big things in combat is that if it's taking a while, like if you've got a 6-person party and everybody isn't real quick with their turns, like it can take like an hour for you, like between turns. It's like, all right, I'm gonna talk for 3 minutes and I've got my shit prepared, so I'm gonna take my turn real quick. And then an hour later, you're like, oh, is it the next round now? Do I get to do something? And this way you can actually like, it'll keep you engaged in the combat. It's like, oh, I wanted this. Oh, dip, over here. All right, we're gonna do this. I think that's gonna be super awesome. I think that's just gonna be super fabulous. And I cannot wait. I cannot wait to do the subclasses and really give them some flavor. I think that's awesome. Oh my God. Yeah, well, I want to say thank you to both of you for coming over to Planar Allies and being fabulous.
Always a pleasure.
There's first off, hey Paul, where can we find you?
So I have been Paul, aka Ampersand. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and TikTok at Ampersandy20. Specifically next week, I'll be there Tuesday with Blades of the Dark, Wednesday with the first ever Doctor Who TTRPG show on my channel. Thursday, we would normally do Homebrew Habit, but it's that off week next week, so we won't be there. So just Tuesday and Wednesday next week.
I love it. Yay. And what about you, Charlie? Where can we find you?
You're in there. Hey, I am DM Charlie from DM Charlie Gaming. You can see me every single Thursday night on Phoenix Iwaki's channel playing Willy Grimm, a Fate-touched warlock. You can also find me on our Discord at DMC Gaming. Do the whole Discord thing, DMC Gaming. It's bespoke. We are a cadre of pro DMs dedicated to giving you memorable and exceptional roleplay experiences built around a community of fabulous, passionate, diverse, and inclusive role players. And we are dedicated to what we do. Discover your legend, love your game. DM Charlie Gaming. Thank you.
Yay. And of course, you can find me here at Planar Allies. You can find me sort of all over the place doing that. Super fun. I'm also the project manager for the Rolling Together stream team. And Phoenix Iwaki is one of the fabulous members, as is Paul. So go check out everybody. If you want to just go to twitch.tv/teams and put in Rolling Together, it'll show you everyone that's in our stream team. It's like 15 different streamers in our stream team. So go and check that out. We're almost always somebody's on doing something fabulous. So go and check it out. And we will see you next time. In the meantime, it looks like the only one up that I follow is Blue Box. Is anybody else up that we want to check out?
Nah, Blue Box. Unless DMDM Studios is live, it'd just be Blue Box.
Let's see.
I think you're following DMDM Studios, aren't you? It's Derek.
Oh, yeah. Are they live?
I have no idea.
No, they're not. They're not.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm like, I know I'm following them there. All right, hey, I'm going to throw it to chat then. Who do you want to raid into today? Who's your favorite? Because nobody on this, weirdly enough, no one on the stream who's actually live right now, which is insanity because we always are.
They should have done last time. I'm sure someone starts at 10 o'clock, but just 3 minutes early.
Oh, is there somebody that's starting at 5? I don't think
you know what? I'm just guessing. Do not take anything I say to heart. I just guess my way through life, so maybe not.
Absolutely. These are important. No, Huli was supposed to start like an hour and a half ago. So if they are not up at this point, they're probably not available for their game today. So, you know what we're going to do? I am just going to, I'm sorry, Fantasist Blue Box. let's go over to Blue Box and say
I
hello.
do know a little bit about them. They are a Doctor Who enthusiast. They stream mostly Doctor Who content.
I love it. That makes me very happy. That makes sense with Blue Box. I'm like, why are they called Blue Box? Oh, it's because they are in a blue box. Fun. Do you know who's over on the channel?
Absolutely no. It's a lady. I already know her as Blue Box. I've done some work for her, so no, I don't know her name.
Fun.
It might not even be the right person I'm thinking of, but yeah. They are Doctor Who.
Awesome. I love it. All right. And we are rating. Thank you so much. Mwah.